Hey everybody, how's it going? I just wanted to stop in. This is the video that I've been promising for 2 or 3 weeks now. This is the last video in, it's not a series, but I've made a few videos about Bettie Jo, who I've been calling Petty Ho on the Facebook groups. But I wanted to talk about a couple things, show some things that I have, and then I'm gonna let it go. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are interested and a lot of people who watch these videos and people who have reached out to me on Facebook. I'm not going to discuss names because there's only one name that I really wanted to share, but I've found a way to edit the receipts, so that's really not necessary. And the fact is that Bettie Jo has an army of trolls that go after people who disagree with her, which is okay. You know, everybody's got their fans. But the fact is, there's been a lot going on, a lot going on in that world, and so much that I had no idea what was going on. I personally have been healing from ankle surgery myself and dealing with my mother at the same time. So my life is fairly busy, so I don't necessarily hear every detail as it becomes available, and I was kind of caught up all at once yesterday. I planned on recording this video last night, or Saturday night, and then posting it yesterday, but that didn't happen because just life happens and I had some things to take care of, and so I'm taking care of it now. So first of all, the videos, I started making the videos about Bettie Jo specifically because she went after one of my friends on Facebook. As I said, she has a team of trolls. They are pretty well known around the community on Facebook. And this person that she went after, I'm just internet friends with. We don't know each other in real life, but when there's no real reason to go after anyone if they don't go after you first. So that's what started, because I've had a few people ask me what started the whole interest with Bettie Jo. I'm also obsessed with My 600-Pound Life. I watched the show when she was on it. You know, I was at that point in my life, I was over 600 pounds at one point. I was almost 700 pounds. I had gastric bypass. Well, I had gastric banding and then I had gastric bypass. So I felt a connection with the show, the participants on the show. So I was always interested. So anyway, I started making videos about Petty Ho because of that. And that turned into more information being released to me, which is fine, which is good. I mean, information needs to be shared. As I said, she has an army of trolls that go after people who disagree with her, which is fine. They've gone after me. I don't really care. My information is pretty public. I don't really hide a whole lot. If you want to come over and knock on my door and talk to me, that's fine. People don't do that. But if you, do what you gotta do. And, so, the new information. If anyone keeps up with Bettie Jo, you know that she's now in Florida. She posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and yes, I'm blocked by her on Facebook, but I have more than one account. If you disagree with that, that's fine. You don't have to watch these videos. But when someone talks about you openly and then blocks you, and then continues to talk about you, yes, you make alternate accounts. That's just the way that life works. That's the way that Facebook works. That's the way that social media works in this day and age. So anyway, I followed up with her with some activity that was going on her page. She's accused me of being the one who posts everything about her, which is absolutely not true. There's quite a few people who have made videos and made posts on Facebook about her. So, 2.5 weeks ago, she posted, "Does anybody want to take a road trip to Florida?" They live in High Ridge, Missouri. Bettie Jo and her husband and her brother-in-law and her mother-in-law live in High Ridge, Missouri, which is about an hour for me. It's not far. So she posted, does anybody want to go to take a road trip to Florida? Which is fine, that's cool. If you can find people to go with you and it doesn't cost you anything, awesome, good for you. And I think it was about a week later when the stories started about the baby being kidnapped. More information is being presented to me. More and more and more. From several different people who were actually related to Bettie Jo by marriage. So, Bettie Jo's sister-in-law, Amber, was an abusive wife. She went after her husband more than once. There's records of her domestic violence. She claimed that he beat her, and then he turned around and claimed that she beat him. There's more than one person who observed it, and with all that going on, Amber did a lot of things. Amber is Bettie Jo's sister-in-law. Did a lot of things, including inflicting injury on herself to make it look like she was being abused. The night that Junior, which is the baby's name, his father took him was because Amber went after him, threw something at him, and then hit him. Bettie Jo encouraged Amber to file a false police report, and there's proof of that. There's recordings and emails and texts and things that Bettie Jo encouraged her to file a police report that she was being abused so that she could get into a shelter. So she did. She took herself and her two babies, her 2-year-old and her newborn baby, to Park, which is the protective services down in Florida where they live. And she was kicked out of the first shelter for not watching her children. She was outside smoking cigarettes for over 2 hours while the children stayed in the bedroom unattended and crying. So she was asked to leave. She moved to another shelter where almost an identical thing happened. So, it makes you wonder why Bettie Jo's doing all this work and saying all these things, and she's making these flyers that are obviously fake because people have called the police department down in Florida where all this is happening and asked about what was going on. The police department knows nothing about it. The baby was checked into the hospital during this whole time of missing. There's Facebook check-ins with pictures of the baby. The baby's okay. So the father and baby are missing right now. The baby's not kidnapped because he can be with the father. So right now, it's not a matter of, they filed an Amber Alert and they're going, the baby's being kidnapped and tortured. Bettie Jo wanted to go on vacation. She started a GoFundMe page with the account attached to her Wait No More, which is the company that she started, the not-for-profit that she started, that she says is 100% legal, that runs her group. So they're on the road with that money that people are donating for the group, which I've made a video about before. And Bettie Jo's telling people that there's going to be a news conference, there's going to be Amber Alerts, there's all these things. None of that has come to fruition. It now appears that everyone who has been duped into believing what Bettie Jo says is paying for her to be on vacation in Meth Head, Florida. No offense to the people of Florida. I love Florida. It's a beautiful place. I've been there. We stayed there for 2 weeks last Christmas break. It's a beautiful place, but where she's at, there's no reason for her to be gone. There's no reason why her baby is left unattended. Bettie Jo's baby is left unattended in Missouri. The baby didn't go with her. Bettie Jo's mother-in-law is dating a man who's a convicted rapist who's been on the run from the law for a long time. And, you know, the deeper that I get into this, the more heartbreaking it is for those kids. The harder it is for me to understand why you would do this to yourself and to others. The harder it is for me to understand why TLC would hire or put a criminal psychopath, basically, on the show. So I'm going to include the link to the GoFundMe page for JR's father, who's trying to get custody back of the baby, because JR's father's mother, the grandmother of the baby, has reached out to me on Facebook and has given me the link to the GoFundMe page, and she seems like a genuinely good person, and I think the baby would be better off. So that's what's going on. I'm going to include some links here at the end, and I'm going to include some pictures here at the end of some conversations and also some audio that was sent to me, and then I'll put the link for that GoFundMe page down at the bottom. I hope that the audio is better on this. I've had a few complaints about audio and visual, and to be completely honest, I'm using an old SLR camera is what I record my videos with. You know, I'm not like a high-tech, I don't have thousands of YouTube subscribers. I just hate for good people to be taken advantage of, and that's what I feel like Bettie Jo is doing. So this wraps up my discussion on Bettie Jo here on YouTube. I'm not saying I won't still talk about it on Facebook because it's fascinating to me. I will be back on Wednesday this week to talk about Trisha Paytas, who I've made several videos about in the past, and I've actually found some old video footage of myself talking about Trisha that I'm going to edit together because now she's on Celebrity Big Brother in the UK, which is good for her, I guess. And I just want to add a few things, and then Friday I will be back again with some weight loss information for myself, what I'm doing for myself and getting back on track. And I hope everybody's great, and hope you have a great week, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.